Hello, viewers. We press on, relentlessly committed to the end game. So this is Day of Reckoning, the coward called John May. So I'll say that again. This is the Day of Reckoning for the coward, which means just an ordinary Joe, a shit kicker, blow the dirt on your feet, that sort of thing. Just a fucking pathetic human being. So, Day of Reckoning for the coward called John May. Now, if he doesn't turn up, then we know he is a coward. We also know that he's guilty of what's been said. Because I basically, over the time, see, this is how clever I am, right? Over the time, I've been broadcasting their errors, what they've been doing wrong, why they've done it, blah, blah, blah. So there's no excuse. They have the information in mind. That's just the way. Yeah, information doesn't go anywhere other than in the mind. So it's all there. It's just a matter of these people becoming honest human beings, but they've lived such a complex, or not a complex, but I suppose in one sense complex. But it's just a continual repetition of lies and lies and lies, and here goes lies, and there goes lies. So they foul their own water. Now they have to live in this shit that they created. And I'm not going to be doing anything other than holding the light up and shining it very brightly on their behaviours. So we'll know the good and true folks. They'll just come and they'll say bump, 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 and I'll say yeah. We might identify a few mistakes that we made, and that's normal living, normal good folk living. But when you've got these people that cheat and lie, well, that's a different kettle of fish. It just is. And it embeds it just embeds. Oh, here we go. Right. Now, sir, I'm not going to let you in for a discussion. Pathetic buggers. They're just desperate to sort of shut me down, but so far they've failed miserably. I'm actually extremely competent, and I'm basically their master. Not in any other way, but it's like I'm the master debater, and I am actually. I'm probably one of the finest debaters on the planet. But also, what I'm extremely good at, I'm quite competent in IT management. I'm quite competent in project management. And I'm an absolute expert on spirituality and that story. And I know how the human form functions very precisely. So I'm quite the force to be reckoned with. As it turns out from my research, it turned out that we are the gods. But unfortunately, there's only a small group of us that actually live to the God standard. The rest of the rabble, the dirt kickers and whatnot, people who live in ego, they are fucking far below the standard that we operate at. It's just, chalk and cheese. So what we need to do today, so he's got this message, he's already got it. So there's no fucking excuses. We've had a relationship that's gone on for a period of time where deliberately a lot of information from me went towards him. So that's now on board. He knows the truth. There's no hiding from that. It doesn't work that way. So if someone says, I can't remember, blah, blah, blah. No, not when it comes to these matters. They fucking remember the lot. So this guy, John May, that's his name, John May, and he lives in Western Australia. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm gathering this collection of tapes. So I'm nearly at the end of a long journey. 12 months of absolute persecution. Well, there's a gap in between, but 12 months of absolute persecution by internet bullies, and it's had a dramatic impact on my life, my wife to a degree, and our income. So it's a fucking huge deal for us. It just is. The positive thing is I became enlightened in the process. I'm going after Islam. That's not a joke. I'm fucking going to do that. I'd just rather die than not do that, because I know what sort of a fucking pain in the ass religion it is. So if you think for a minute that I had lacked courage, I'd suggest you give some consideration for that. Once I've brought down Islam, then I'm going to tear down Christianity, but I'm going to replace those religions with the absolute perfect teachings of Jesus, which Jesus is acknowledged in both religions. So for the followers of the religion, they're actually going to get a better outcome. Same with these people I'm dealing with, right? They actually get a better outcome because they're fucking pricks to themselves and they're a nightmare to their victims. So stopping that is a really good thing. Now you'll see through the process that what I do is I needle and agitate. I'm not trying to needle and agitate the person. I needle and agitate the ego, and now I think I've worked out how to get a person from an egoic state into the enlightened state. So we're going to try and do that. I've had a few setbacks though. I lost a good friend in Rose Patton, and another one called Seeger, because of the influence of these egotistical bastards that muddy the waters of life. So, but today is a very special day, and it's a day of reckoning for a coward, right? So this guy thinks he's a good person, friendly, has a lot of friends, but he doesn't, not in a real sense. It's all very superficial. So, and he's the true coward, unbelievable how much of a coward this individual, work in the shadows in the background, always sort of manipulating things, cunning is rat cunning. And his name is John May, he lives in Western Australia, Western Australia. We've got an address on him. I don't know whether it's the right one. We've got a phone number on him, but I'm sure because he's addicted to this online world, I don't think he'll let that go in a hurry. So we'll fucking get him in the end, right? All I've got to do is convince, with my legal people, convince the police that I've got a case that needs to be heard and investigated properly. So that's pretty much the process. So get these pricks all lined up in a row, sort them all out, go to the coppers. I'm running parallel, I'll do the Islam stuff. And that's all I need to do, because the rest flows on from that. I have all the information already for every single last step of the things that I want to achieve. It's all about global warming, and it's about getting the best effort put into that process, so that we prepare our children, right, for some potentially bad outcomes. We're already seeing the dramatic weather. We've always seen some crops failing because of heat. So there's some pretty rough times coming if we don't do something about it. And I've put in place everything that needs to be done to move to the optimal position. I've got additional information on the particular technologies where we're at and which ones seem to be the most successful. So we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. We just need to clear the decks, get rid of the bullshit out of religion, return true spirituality in place, deal with the fucking empires, pull the money back out of the empires for funding of the task, and then let the scientists govern the whole process and let us know where we're at, because they're the guys that have got to do it. All right, not hard. Didn't take me long to fucking work it out, but we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to go and see if I can get this John May, this cowardly man, John May, and what I want from him is a full and open, frank confession. he'll beat around the bush and all sorts of bullshit like that. But I live the story. He knows it, and I know he knows it. And I'm an expert in terms of reading a person's ability to, reading whether they're telling the truth or not. So, hold on to your seats. Could be interesting. Could be boring too, because he'll fucking dance around like a, so an honest man just says blah 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 blah, and off he goes. This guy's different, which tells me there's a problem. There's a fucking big problem. And there's a guy called Cerebus. He's the same as this prick, and another guy called Frank Green. You know, they're people that should know damn well better, but they behave like fucking animals. I'm not joking. Anyway, let's go and see if we can find any of these cowards and see if any of them will come in. See if we can find some of these fucking cowards, absolute pathetic cowards, and just see if they'll come in. I'll go with the link, the thing, so hang on, Benny, coming. Fucking cowards. Fucking cowards. Miserable fucking low. Now me, I'm not a coward. I'm actually going after this land, which means that if I get any coverage and I'm ready to take it on, it could be fatwa time. La 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 la. So already the boys, they're obviously watching. So one says, this is this fucking pathetic fucking human being. One of the worst human beings I've ever fucking met in my life. His name is his screen name is Cerebus Rex. Rob, you're just childish trash. Well, Mr. Cerebus Rex, I think that's a lie. So if you come into my room, into the parlour, I'm sending in my lawyer, Rob. Okay, let's do it. Bring in the fucking lawyer. Bring in the lawyer, Mr. John May. Come on. Send him in. What you don't happen to know. Yeah. Send him in. What you don't know, John May, is that I'm a fucking expert in law. Yeah. Now, what they're doing out there, these fucking pathetic, ugly fucking, you wouldn't even hire them as a slave. You'd fucking kick them to the curb. See what I said there? Kick them to the curb. Now, what they've done, they've got all this, they've got a fake account of mine. Well, it's not my account. They've created an account and made it fine. And Cerebus is doing this as well. This is the depth of depravity that these animals, and you wouldn't call them anything less. They're behaving like, because, well, I know explicitly what they're doing. They're classically feeding the bad wolf, or the self-survival instinct, the one that's related to sex, because they do everything rude and pornographic to the nth degree. And this is what fucks them over in life. They become really bad people and bad company. So, there is karma. Anyway, let's see what's going on. John May's being like a baby, right? He's being like a baby. Baby. So John May, I'm just so fucking far ahead of him, so superior. Like, I managed this prick. And not only do I manage him, I manage every one of these trials, probably about 20 of them now. And I manage them with lethal precision. They're just the most fucking pathetic people on the planet. Just so pathetic. John May is sending in his lawyer. No, you're not, John May. You're full of bullshit. John May, you're full of bullshit. And if you put the lawyer in, I'll tear him to pieces. I'm a fucking expert. Now they've got the fake Rob account. Right? Now here comes Jello, Fatty Jello. Right? Fucking hero, Fatty Jello. Come on, Fatty fucking Jello. Come on, you wuss. Oh, look at them. 3 little ducks all in a row. All these fucking cowards. You wouldn't spit on these people. You would not spit on them. They are fucking appalling human beings. Who's this? What's going on here? Type in the chat window. Say who you are. Type in the chat window. You got to be real careful with these people, you know, you just do. Here's one. Now, this is an appalling individual. Probably wants to porn bomb, but he doesn't know that I got some tricks up my sleeve. There he is. There's the other fella. This is Jello Shots. Now, Jello Shot is a fucking slimy, low down, miserable, fat fucker who abuses his wife. Here's another one. So they're coming en masse, and their key objective is to shut me down. So I'm going to let them sit there and stew a bit while I go and see if I can find my friend. I've got a friend for you guys to meet. Yeah, good. Glad to hear it. So John Bulldog May's got his lawyer here, so we can talk to his lawyer. Fuck that. See ya. Oops, what's that? Huh? So what happened then? La. Oh, Jello. I thought he had a real lawyer. But the thing is, I could have handled the real lawyer. I promise you. I'm fucking great at lots of things. You know, I wrote a book. What is this thing called? God? Guess what, boys? I am that God. And I'm not joking. You're about to find out. You fucking push my buttons too hard, and here we go. Ready, roll the video. Now, there's rules. You must fucking follow them. I'll just get my friend. See if I can find him. Video call. Click. Now, Toasty, right, I knew it that you're a fucking plant, so you're going to have to do some special dancing for me, mate. And let me tell you, I'm going to treat you very savagely. It's not a bad thing, but, you know, where you could nurse a person into the enlightened path, I won't nurse you into it. I'll take you through fucking fire, because here's the thing, right? Jello, you watch me with Jello, right? I'm going to do it to Jello first, and then I'm going to turn on you. Now, the way I treat him, I'm going to be fucking 10 times harder on you. Yeah. Hey, Toasty, what do you think? Well, this is God. G-O in brackets O-D. Well, if you leave, there's still tomorrow. And if you leave, right, because I'm recording all of this, it's on the live, in terms of the relationship of the inquiry, you'll be seen to be a coward that's guilty and ran. Yes, you will, fucking oath. It's simple, right? An honest man prides himself on his honesty, and he'll stand up and display his integrity, right, without question. A dishonest man is the one that fucking runs. And so we know immediately that there's something going. Now, I can conduct an inquiry when I spot the error, and I'll tease it, I'll pull it fucking out like pulling teeth, everything that you did wrong. Now, and I've got a few ideas of my own, but we'll just check them out. Oh, boys. But anyway, fuck, I don't want to read that. Just sit there, boys, or go away, but I'm not going away. Benny, where the fuck are you, Benny? Where the fuck are we? No, don't want to do that. Oh, shit. Oh, dear. You fucking dirty swine. Now, there you go. So, Mr. Jello, Toasty, the company you keep, right, is a fucking coward. Right? He's a fucking coward. Right? In my house, my rules, I put you under all the pressure I need to get this dirt, get the truth out of you, not the dirt. Right? Now, he's a fucking coward. Right? Bulldog is a fucking coward. And I'm not talking just ordinary cows, because this is the way it works. I don't give a fuck. You're not to give me any excuses. I know that you're implicated. I fucking knew it from pretty much day one. You can't hide sneakiness. Well, if you want to play those bullshit games, I'll just kick you out of the thing, and I'm going to sit here. And what's going to happen over time, because I'll eventually get a few of you to roll over, and once that happens, right, your reputation's going to be screwed. You won't be able to stop me from getting people to roll over. Don't try any of that shit. Yeah, no, well, that's right, but you're going to have nothing, right? You're going to be known as a fucking bully on the internet. And we're going to understand how you came to that place. And that's useful for me, because I can actually learn even more details of how these functions work. But I certainly, absolutely understand the function. You are a fucking bully. What's your full name, by the way? Put it in the thing, and put your real name in there. Put it in. I can make it fucking worse for you. Put your fucking real name. Here's my real name, right? You can lower all you like, but we're not going. So this is my real name, right? My name is Rob Beasley. I live in Melbourne, Australia. So this is like a pissing contest, right? That better be your fucking real name, is it? Okay, fine. So your name is Ben Mitchie. If I find out it's not over between you and I. Until the day I die, which might be fucking soon, I will fucking find you somehow. Or it can, well, no, I'm not going to fucking England, but if you're on the internet, I'll find you. I got friends, and I've got extremely talented friends, and I'll be asking them to keep an eye out for you until we find you. So your name is Ben Mitchie. Mitchie. Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's only a 14-year-old. He's mucking around with us. Mickey. And you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself, right? So Jesus said, stand naked, stand proud. And that's a positive step towards enlightenment. So you think, because I'm tough with you, that I'm actually handing you out a penalty. I'm actually giving you the best prize in your life. Yeah, whatever. Now, I didn't kick Bulldog. Oh, hang on. Hang on, hang on. Gotta bring the super undercover agent in. He's one of the elite. All right, special guest is coming. Toasty. I know he may not like this, but I'm going to ask him to. Well, hang on, it's fucking recorded. So your name is Ben, not Mickey, Mickey. Come on, bloody Benny. So, you know, we move, you know, our brains or our whatever. And same for you, right? Same for fucking you. You have no idea the gift we're giving you. But the fucking trouble we've got to get through to give it to you. So don't bullshit me when you don't try your fucking flip-flop stories or Rob, you're this, Rob, you're that, blah, 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 blah. Just fucking leave that on the couch for the night. Listen to what we're fucking telling you and then go and have a mull over it. Because you need to... Well, that's okay. I don't mind that. That's a bit of a wit. Who's that? Who's taxi? Who's taxi? Hurry. Who's taxi? Oh, okay. Well, I accept that. Well, we can pick it up. You know, you got to do what... See, enlightened people, we respect each other as individuals. And, you know, we never impose anything on another enlightened person. But we give a fucking major kick up the ass to people that fucking torment us when we do no wrong. So when the taxi comes, you just go. There'll be no bad blood or any issues. We'll just pick it up. And I'm not your fucking boss. We're equals. What we're trying to do is fucking get you up to our level. That's all. And it saves you from a miserable death and it gives you a fucking fantastic life. Although I've lost, you know, probably about 7 to 10 years because of all of this crap. You stole that from me. But I don't bitch about it. I don't care, you know. It is what it is. But I won't tolerate fucking bullies and I won't tolerate lies. And, you know, I used to mince my words, but I fucking don't now. I say what I mean. Now, if you can get a message to that fucking bulldog prick and just say, Rob wants you back in because he's spreading lies that I booted him. I fucking didn't. The prick ran away. Oh, did he? Hang on, wait a minute. I've got to be careful. I might have pissed him. Oh, I did piss him off, didn't I? Pardon me. Because of the lawyer thing. Yeah. No, my apologies. I was wrong. See that? You know, as soon as I spot the error, I just admit it. And I admit it publicly. Oh, we've only got 0 viewers, so nothing to stress about. But this record's going to be really important. Yeah. I don't know where Benny... Oh, we got a viewer now. Benny. Bloody hell. He's got these multiple fucking projects on. And he pisses off when it's important. All right, well, I'm going to... Toasty, you just go whenever you want. I accept what you're saying is valid. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. No. Only one. Only one. Only one. Only one me. Like when I was working, we can do the work of 7 people. I did it consistently for 3 years. And not only did I do it consistently, I did it. Yeah, I know. But Benny and I are the same. Not the same person, but we're the same. We're enlightened. And our function levels are extremely high. Well, way above the norm. That's why I can manage all you fucking trolls and do other stuff while I'm at it. I could probably write a fucking book or something. Yeah, well, he's a multitasker. I don't think I am. I think I'm more of a serial processor, and that's not serial fucking killer. The only thing I kill is bloody egos. Now, don't forget, Tasty, you got to go somewhere, so fucking just go when you need to go. Yeah, wisecrack. Well, the wisecracks are a sign because the enlightened dudes, they do a bit of that. We have a really good get-together, particularly a guy called Mitch Chicken. Fucking hell. Is he not the funniest dude I've ever seen? And we lost a couple of enlightened people to fucking the likes of you. And I want to know a bit about that. Right, and that's a tragedy. Fucking, I can't think of a worse crime. Fucking do that to a person. You couldn't do it to me, though. I'm a bit alpha on that. Yeah, but you fucked with her, right? You fucked her over. You turned her against me. No, be careful. No, that's not fucking true. Be careful. Be very fucking careful. This has to be... No. This has to be 100% honesty. Because if I find the fucking lie, you ain't seen nothing yet, my friend. So you try me, and see, the one thing about us enlightened folk, we're ever present. So when we're in a situation, we pick up all the detail. Yeah, all right. Some promising signs, but we'll see. There you are, Benny, working the crowds. Well, what we did there, viewer, so this is the day of reckoning. A bunch of internet bullies, cowards, 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 cowards.
Hello,
Yeah, who are you?
my name is Tom.
How do I know you?
I saw a friend of mine sent me the link.
Oh, okay. Which friend?
His name is Skeptic Knowledge, I believe.
Oh, okay. I've heard of him, but I've not spent any time, or at least I can't remember. A lot of pricks on the internet, so
Yeah,
got to be careful.
very much so.
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about?
I can talk about anything, really.
Well, you lead off. You got the floor.
Oh, well, thank you.
Wait a minute. I'll just tell you the very strict governance around discourse. The person that holds, but equal, right? So whatever rights I have, you have exactly the same. Except that I get the final word. So there you go. Yeah, but you know, if everything goes well and there's no bullshitting, it usually works quite well. So you've got the floor at the moment. You maintain that until you want to give it up. So if at any time,
Oh, okay, thank you. By the way, what you just said reminded me a little bit of, you've read the book Animal Farm, right? You know, one of the commandments or rules of the farm was all animals are equal. It's just that some animals are more equal than others.
Yeah. Oh no, you find it's just the nature of the beast. You've got to have someone that keeps an eye on the process. So you know, just the way it is. But that person has an obligation to. So the process governs, and it has to be equitable. And so there is a case to be held if the person doesn't follow the process, or you know, like me. Although I will get a bit creative, but I'll give my reasons for being creative depending on the circumstances. So you've got to have that flexibility for the unknown. Anyway, so whoever's got the floor holds the floor until they yield. So that's an absolute. You hold the power for that. When it comes to the other person, they hold the floor till they yield. And if we've got multiple people in the room, we just work our way around the room and everyone gets a turn. In the flow of you delivering your pitch, anyone in the room can raise a point of contention. You must stop the conversation at that point, absolutely must. We can't go any further forward, and you need to hear both sides until there's a satisfactory resolution. I won't get any more detail on that, but just leave it at that. That applies to both sides. And there's a little bit different because I'm an enlightened human being. And what that means is that my mind works quite rapidly. I'm very present in the moment. So, and I'm very aware of quite a number of things. So what that means is that there'll be times where I'll just jump in on you and I'll say, stop. I want you to stop. I'll tell you I've got it. I'll have understood already what you want to say. I'm just trying to be efficient with time, that's all. And you'll see that I understand it in my response. Yeah. And if I don't, then you raise a point of contention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does that do?
That does me quite well.
It actually it works extremely well if people stick to it, because it's really fair, and it allows, because quite often in discourse, a person might say something and broadcast it as truth, but it, the receiver of the information knows that it's actually wrong. It's really important to stop and fix that error before you get further into the discourse.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm actually kind of curious about something you said. You said you were enlightened, but I don't know what the term enlightened is exactly supposed to mean, because many people claim enlightenment, and it would be nice to actually have a good solid definition.
Yeah, I have a solid definition. I know exactly what it is. I've got a number of friends that are enlightened. Hey, is this Danny? Is this a real Danny? More information? Okay. This Danny here who's with us. Frank. Hey, Frank. Yeah, I prefer to call you Frank. I don't like Danny. Just, it's a fucking box name. Now, you've got now in your company 2 enlightened people, so observe us to just how quickly we work off each other, how short our sentences are, how very much on point, how there's little disagreement, and if we do, we even identify or know. So it's as if we were working off one mind. So let's explain enlightenment to you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very specific, and it's exactly what it is. Now, you might believe it, but too bad, too sad. This is what it is.
Okay.
Our senses, right? Our senses are designed to pull information. Well, it's not a pull, really, but they get information from the real world, from reality.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that in a time slice called the now. It's impossible to use your senses to go back an hour, and it's also impossible to use your senses up an hour. The only point that they receive data is in this thing called the now, this time slice called the now. And so we've got now, sucking in data. But with that data that comes on board, there's some contextual information, right? So it's context, data, and that then makes up the data pack that's delivered into the body, and then it heads up to the brain. On the way up, it crosses over. So we have 2 survival instincts in us. One survival instinct is about the self, so it's selfishness. It only gives a shit about the self. And the other survival instinct, it cares about the herd, the community. Now, those 2 instincts are the baseline for understanding everything a human does. So now we can say, well, that we can draw a comparison to computers, and in computing, the baseline is an on-off switch, which is true, false state, or 1-0, right? You understand that?
Right. I understand.
Yeah. In the human, it's actually exactly the same. We have a baseline, and it's based on these 2 survival instincts. Now, they're instinctual, which means that there's no brain activity in them. They do what they do, and they do what they do all the time, all the same. Who's that person?
Oh,
Fucking
his name is Sydney. I've spoken to him before, and he seemed on the up and up.
no, he's not, mate. He's a fucking nightmare.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Well,
I'll teach you, Sydney, for being a total nightmare.
but no. Look, he's a human being. Every human being is fine. Every human has these characteristics. That's why we're all, in this context, all equal. Doesn't matter what sex you are. Doesn't matter what race you are. We're just all equal because this is the design of the human function. So Sydney has the same function, but his ego, and this is the error state in humans, his ego is fucking off the tree, and he's a fucking nightmare. And he's a member of a bully cartel that have been bullying me for about 12 months. But I'm enlightened, and I fight against that shit. Anyway, let's get back onto
Wait, so from what I understand, it to make sure we're on the same page here,
Yeah.
someone is enlightened if their ego is put in subservience to the will of the community or of the whole.
Sort of, but it's not accurate, right? It's much simpler than that. So let's keep on our journey of this data coming in, streaming in. It crosses over. Now, the only error occurs with the self-survival instinct. The other one makes no error. So the data coming in and crossing over that instinct is perfect. And so an enlightened person is in that state all the time. Don't forget that the survival instincts are still both there. So if we're in a dramatic situation, we need that survival instinct. So you've got to separate things out. So, I'm just trying to think of the best way to. So we've got the data coming in. It crosses over this self-survival instinct. The self-survival instinct watches the context and has a look at it and makes a call. Well, it may make a call to corrupt the data. So now we have. Now you've got to remember that the original data set's there, but now we've got a corrupted set of data as well, paired off, and they stay paired. It's that corrupted version which has no basis whatsoever in reality, so it can never ever match reality. If it matches reality, it's not a problem. So when it's disconnected from reality, that is ego. And over time, the collection of those error states is what we call ego.
I see. So from what I understand now, an enlightened person is somebody who makes no mistakes.
Well, exactly. That's it. Or they resolve the errors. So they do reflection. They look at, because these things are held in memory, they do an assessment, they realise the error, they correct the error. So now we have true state, no longer error state. And after you've done that for all of your bags of error, then you're enlightened.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So it's somebody who, so essentially enlightenment is when somebody is able to recognize error states and correct them, or understand their mistakes.
Well, that's the journey towards enlightenment, but
you said you were in fact enlightened. You didn't say you were on a journey to enlightenment. You said you were enlightened.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm in that state. But see, now that I understand it, I checked my family. My 15-year-old boy, he's enlightened. We've run across a 14-year-old dude on the internet. He's enlightened, and I mean in the perfect true sense. My 22-year-old son is enlightened.
Okay, but according to what it means, not examples of people who are enlightened, just what it means. From what I understand of it, enlightenment means, as you said, one is able to recognize their mistakes and correct them.
Yeah, but I often. Well, hang on. Our friend Danny, I'll ask for his opinion. Danny, do you get born in? Well, you do get born fucking enlightened. So did you go through a journey to enlightenment? Oh, Frank, sorry, yeah, Frank. Change your fucking name. Frankie. Oh, Frankie. Okay, Frankie. Frankie. Come on, mate. Did you go through a journey to enlightenment? Is that yes for that one? Yeah, okay, thank you. Now see there, one word, and I know there's no distrust. We're actually really good friends. I mean, you know, the best of friends as friends go. We don't interfere with each other. If he wants to fuck off, he fucks off. If I want to fuck off, I'll go. You know, we just, and you know, we believe in total liberty for this person. So it's not complicated shit. So he went through a process, but we've got that 14-year-old kid, so he's got it early. Oh no, the kid said he was going through puberty, and it was messing with him. But he's in a state where he knows what that is. See, we're extremely intelligent. I mean, I'm talking Einstein level intelligence. But we feel that everyone can be this way. So we're sort of just, you know, offering this stuff and seeing whether people can actually get there. Hey, Frankie. Frankie, what are you doing? You might have pissed off somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Very much. He did the bloody finger across the throat and all sorts of drama queens today.
I don't believe you answered my question. You
go ahead.
You went on to give examples of people who are enlightened, but you never defined what enlightenment is. I have an idea of what you mean. I think you mean an enlightened person is somebody who is able to recognize their mistakes and correct for their errors. But
yeah, I can help you. I got it. So hang on. Now, most people, when I tell them, they get sick of it. If you get sick of it, then I know you've got a fucking ego. But this helps really talk about, well, what are the earmarks? How do we fucking know for sure? Now, we can pick it up in seconds, right? Because we just know. So this saying, an old Cherokee told his grandson there is a battle between two wolves inside us all. Now, what they're talking about is those two survival instincts, right?
Yeah, I've heard of this before. Of course, the wolf who feeds most is the one who wins.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Let me read it out. There's a reason. So you got these two instinctual things. That's what these wolves represent. One is evil. It is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. Now, if you look at those characteristics, they're fucking selfishness. Lies and ego, when you have a false state in memory about reality, that's a lie. And that is what? Ego. It all ties very tightly together. The other, right? So basically, everything that's evil in this world comes from that function of a false set of information crossing over this self-survival instinct and putting a wrong fucking thought in a person's head. Because remember, no wrong thoughts in their head, no ego. No ego, enlightenment. Now, this is the other side of the coin. The other is good. Now, this is the God concept. This is the true meaning of what the authentic God concept is. Because in religions and that, you've got these political influences that fucked over the religions. And hang on, while we're on that, Jesus, there was a real dude called Jesus, and he taught this stuff, the real stuff. Yeah, it's true. I wrote a book, What is this thing called God? So I know a bit about what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've heard it's alleged to be the best seller on the internet since Lost on the Moon.
What?
Oh, it's considered to be one of the best hits to come on Amazon since Wasp on the Moon.
No, it hasn't sold at all. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I'm saying it's the best thing on the internet since Wasp on the Moon.
What's that mean?
Wasp on the Moon is a book.
Yeah.
It's
So
the best thing. I'm saying your book is the best thing to come on to the internet since Wasp on the Moon.
yeah, but what do you mean by that? It's a piece of shit or it's good?
Well, it's a book that I'm very happy to let the reviewers do the talking upon.
Oh, okay, I understand that. And that casts a shadow on you as a person. It just does. And not a good one, my friend.
I see.
And
Well,
hang on. Wait a minute. My house, my rules, my house, my rules. Ego. Now,
I didn't give up the floor.
hang on. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Now, you pricks, you fucking egotistical people, you're a pain in the ass. Now, I'll explain to you what talk about that. Fucking little creep. So we're plagued by trolls, plagued by. Well, I'm going to actually fucking wipe them off the internet, and you wait and see. I will.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking, we perform at a high level. Well, you could perform at this level. I'm not joking.
Yeah, but I'm kind of curious as to what you mean by enlightened. It's not something you've really given a rigid definition to.
Hang on. Shut up. Let me finish. Now, where were we? When you do that, it fucks me up with memory. Now,
you were talking about wolves.
Yeah. No, but you did something devious with the thing. Okay.
Oh.
No, you did. You're a fucking prick. Now, see, if I was doing it, I'd read the book myself. I wouldn't go by any reviews. What happened with those reviews, right? Because I'm familiar with them. They scuttled my whole process or my book, and it was done deliberately. It was done absolutely deliberately with that intent in mind. So the first critic, right, was a guy that had half a brain, right? So it was reasonably balanced to look at. But if you actually dig a bit deeper, or if you knew the book, it was very scurrilous of him. He basically.
So how come earlier you said a mark of the success of your book was the fact that you sold them all, but at the same time, many of your critics who you don't consider enlightened were the ones who bought them?
Say that again. Hang on. Say that again.
Okay. Earlier on in this discussion, you said that one of the reasons your book was a success was because you sold them all. You sold them all.
Hold it. I never said that at all. Hold it. I never said that at all. Just wait a minute.
That's what I heard.
Frankie. Come in. Where the fuck are you?
I don't think
Hey, shut up.
Maybe he's not aligned enough to respond.
No, hang on. He will when he's ready. He might be doing something.
I don't know. But what is enlightenment? What does it mean to be enlightened?
No, I'm not going to give you any more information because I'm sensing that you're a lying little prick. I just want to.
I'm just going to take that.
Hold it. Shut up. We just need to get the facts. That's all.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're being sophistical.
All right, fuck off.
Sophistical. I mean.
Yeah, whatever. Now, what the fuck do you want, Sydney? Put it in the side chat. Well, wait a minute, Sydney. I'm reading the side chat first. Because if you're still in the same headspace, you're just going to get fucking pissed off. And thrown in the fucking trash where you belong, you gutter worm. So what do you say? So this is what he says. This is Sydney Winston, Ask the Atheist. Now, Sydney, I hope you know that you're going to be out of fucking business, right? No more atheism. But there's something about you that's not quite gelling yet. But we'll find out, you fucker. You're a dumb fuck, and I'm not. Got it? Got it, Sydney? Got it? Nice puppy dog, Sydney. Righto. Now, only Rob can talk. Haven't you newbies learned this? Well, that's the wrong thing. Right? We were having a discussion. The guy wanted some information, and I was giving it to him. That's it. No harm, no fucking foul. Prick. Now, oh yeah, just questioning Rob and even disagreeing with his nonsense. Okay, well, obviously you fucking haven't made any fucking progress, because what I'm talking about is extremely enlightening and very important stuff. So you can fuck right off. Now, oh shit, there's only us here. Hey, Frankie. Where the bloody hell did you go, Frank? Can you get Benny? Can you get Benny as well? What's our squad numbers now? We're at bloody 10, I think. I want to go fucking harder on these people. They're just pissing me off. Frankie. No more dilly-dallying. Yeah, thank you. Okay, stop pissing off like that. I'm only joking. I kicked Sydney Winston Sydney. The other dude, right? The other dude started lying, and I kind of was hoping you would have been here to witness it so I could double check, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. You're a better bloke than that fucking Benny. At least he doesn't give me any fucking grief like you do. I know you do. You don't. He does. Oh, no, I wouldn't worry about it. Fucking go with the flow. Oh, no, well, shit, got to have something to eat, dude. Are you a fatty? Yeah, well, I was before I got into this fucking lithium. Now, so, these are the problems. But, mate, I've got to tell you, this sort of life, kicks ass. I mean, I'm not skinny, but I'm not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I was too. It puts weight on, lithium. No, I think it does. Okay. that McChicken. Yeah, no, fucking, you're right there. Fucking medications, stick it up their ass. I hate this stuff. Well, my dad, right? He's what's dad now? He's bloody 80, about 84. Never taken medications, never. And the fucking quacks when they. Oh, because I've got a bloody. They told me that you got to be weaned off them, so I've sort of been waiting on the doctors to. But I've changed clinics, so now I'm just gonna go to this other clinic and just say, come on, fucking come on, help me get off this shit. Well, I don't think so. They're just fucking pills you pop each night. They don't seem to do anything. Yeah, I agree. I hate it. I hate the fact that I'm on this stuff. But this goes, yeah, no, shit. Hey, Benny, you don't have to sell it to me. Yeah, I know all my, yeah. Oh, Frank. Oh, fuck. Well, you're so fucking like Benny, I forgot. It's like we're out of the same head. How many are we now? I think we're at about 15, aren't we? 15 enlightened dudes. Actually, I'm going to scratch one off. I want to scratch bloody Rose off the list. Something's fucking not right. Yeah, I'm going to whoop her ass. Lukey's still fine, though. I think he's a high-level performer. Hey, did I tell you about the boys? Boys here are enlightened. It's fucking, yeah, my sons, or at least James, he's 15. Mally, he's 22-ish, I think. I'm not sure. His partner is enlightened. My daughter Ange, I think she's special. And her partner, Albert, he's fucking like Albert Einstein. Yeah, of course. Well, if they weren't enlightened, they couldn't be. They'd have to be. Yeah, better than the Jews. Jewish. Better than you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. The Pharisees. The Pharisees. Yeah, that's exactly right. Very arrogant. Like who's that? Reuben. Reuben had a touch of that in. And Reuben didn't like it when I said to him that the Jewish history is about fucking slavery, not rebellion. Are you kidding me? Really? He's interesting, but it's a false enlightenment. It's not real. Yeah, that's right. Oh, he could be fun. It could be a good outing. Yeah. Anyhow, all right, Benny. I think that's a wrap. Frank. I'm sorry, Frank. Fucking hell. Yeah, just that, there's so many fucking enlightened people at the minute. I called bloody 3 of them the other day, Benny. Oh, Frank, you see, I did it again. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we call out all of us Benny? That'll save the confusion. Yeah, that's an idea. Good on you, Frank. Now, hang on. I'll just go and see if there's anyone out in La La Land. Oh, Bulldog's out there. He's scared shitless. And Vladimir, I put the code in, so he's fucked. Why is she scared? Hey, there is a pattern I've noticed. A bit of a worrying one, actually. These alpha people are deliberately poisoning the water of the younger folks and manipulating them, and they seem to be quite good at it, which makes me think, fucking hell, there's a bit more to this than meets the eye. Like deliberate pissing in the pond to spoil the internet. Yeah, that's right. So I'm wondering what to do about that. I've got a couple of ideas, right? Just depends on how fucking hard. But I'll. Yeah. But they're going to be the fucking ones destroyed this time. Yeah, it'll be interesting night to night. Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking, I'm thinking we need a little underground army. Or no, well, hang on, we've got fucking that other mob that looking after stuff for us. I reckon we need to keep them under wraps and brief them so that, well, they're being briefed all the time with the videos that we ran, but I think we need to get those dudes ready for fucking rock and rolling. So if something happens on this line, then these guys come straight in fucking red hot, right, and just roll with it, pick it up and go. And I think we need to think about the newspapers. Yeah. I think so. I think it's about time. So, Benny, what I'd like you to think about doing is just getting, the newspapers. Yeah, fucking oath. I think this will sell. Frank, fuck. Can I call you Benny? It's just, no. All right, fuck you. Just Frank. Or Danny. Well, Frank, what I'd like you to do, and if you can catch up with Benny, is consider writing up some articles so that we can, because I promise you, this story, right, this one here, I reckon will sell because we've got such a tight explanation, and I'll actually work on something myself here. We've got such a tight explanation. Yeah. Oh, okay. You haven't come across him or what? I thought you fucking two knew. I actually thought you were the same person. You've seen him. Yeah, all right. Well, you know who he is, right? So I'll tell him what we're thinking of doing. And what I'd like to do is consider writing up an article, and then all we've got to do is find some fucking way of publishing it, because I just think it's the story that's going to run. I really do. And I reckon I can knock up the whole story, so I could start on that. But, an article, that's right. I reckon it fucking phenomenal, boy meets girl. Well, about the criminal bullying behaviour that goes on G+. I reckon that'd be a great strategy. Really start to fucking move things along big time. What's that, an S? Brilliant idea. Well, I think it is. I think it's brilliant. So I'll work on a bit of the article. You don't need to go into a fucking lot of details because we've got all the detail behind it. So. Oh, we need the real names of the bullies, but I've got some. I've got one tonight. Fucking putting pressure on him, it worked. It's in the thing. It's the guy that was toasty. It's in the stream there. And I mentioned it on the video. So all I got to do is pay the video back and I got it. So I'll just keep doing that, I'll insist that they give me the names, because if they don't fucking give them to me, I can do the code thing that I did to fucking VLAD. And I'm not going back on that. He's fucked. I've had enough of him. He did so much damage. So he's stuck, you know what the code means, locked in ego to death and then goes into death, Now it's completely up to him. He has to come kiss my ass and then I'll tell him. So, that's always the option for us, if they, and I think it's reasonable, right? Because these people do appalling things. We got the code. All we're saying is fucking You know, we use the code. If you don't do what we ask you to do, and all we're asking you to do is tell the truth. Simple. And we're very good bullshit detectors. We just are. Anyway, yeah. So I reckon we got a good plan, and we'll clean up this internet and get rid of all these fucking behaviours. So the people are fine, right? Oh, what, you mean our team? You mean our team? Or you mean the... I don't know. But you mean gather our mob, or you talking about get now and then? I don't get it. I must have lost my enlightenment. All I'm thinking is, Benny... oh, okay, I understand that. What you're saying is, let's get some of the bullies in. But what I'd like you to do is chase Benny down and just get on to the team, right? And what I'd like you to do, right, is get them ready to rock and roll, but keep them in the background by all means, and brief them on the news. Just brief them on this current stuff. Did I block Benny? No, I never blocked Benny. Why? Okay. No, I just don't. I don't. There was something else about the team that I wanted to get done. I can't think of it. Lost it. Whose situation? Oh, anyway, Toasty got his name, so that's going to be part of the deal. Get as many names as you can, and they then will go into the article. It's something like I can't if I can remember it. I told him, and I was very firm, right, because I threatened him with the code. I told him that he had to give me his correct name, and I'm pretty sure he did. But I also said to him, if it's fucking not, you know, I'll hound him, you know, for it. Anyway, we'll find out. Okay, let me go and see if I can get some people. We've got that dickhead I Am Bound. He just... Now, this is another thing, Benny, I noticed, right? All right, sorry. Here's this thing I noticed. The people go from half reasonable to real feral, but yeah, anyone. Let him in know. Danny, Frank, Benny. You just kick us out. You just a coward. This kid's running under control of, you know, a senior person. And in his case, it's Bulldog. How do we know? Because it's Bulldog he runs to, or he whimpers to. Now that's Mark Ionoya. So that's Mark Ionoya. Now, I annoy you, we annoy you, you annoy us, you're a pain in the ass. He's a sex pervert, I'm not. Now, this dude, and this is the golden rule here, Frankie. The golden rule. Yeah, yeah, I am. Yeah, well, sort of. Now, what I'm saying to these dudes is, I'm saying, come in, right, and defend yourself against allegations made. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a nutcase. They're making more videos about me than bloody. So, oh, there's Jello shots. They're huddling together. They're huddling together. And I noticed one other thing that they do. They get the copyright material. So it's not only porn bombing you, it's the other. Now I've got. Yeah, but I'm reading it, but I'm not going to show it because I'm not on screen share. But see, there's another thing too, Frank, and what it is, right? There's the subtleties, right? You got a bunch of knobs going crazy. Nah, that's right. Anonymous. So, yeah, these guys, the activity, the level of activity that goes on, you know, they sort of say, oh, you're an idiot, you're a fool, why don't you drop it, why don't you go away, blah, blah, blah. It's all your fault. But if we actually look at the evidence, see, they could actually go away. They can just ignore me, block me, and it's done. But they don't do that. And the reason that they don't do it is because their ego mind sees a threat and it goes into fight, flight, response mode. No, they don't. But now, and this is true actually. This is true, Benny. I say to them, I am the God. Good, brackets OD. Frank. Sorry, Frank. So, Frank, Josh HP, Josh, who's that? Me. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, Frank, yeah. So I say I am the GOOD. Oh, here we go. Here we fucking go. Righto. Now we'll see the caliber of Frankie. Frank, this is Frank Green. Frank, he used to be a good person. He turned into a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Now, Keith, hey, hang on, dude. Hey, so, do you want controls, Danny Frank? Danny Frank, Danny, Frank, Danny. I'll give them to you anyway. Won't give them to you, Frank. Danny Frank. Share control. Danny Frank, keep a close eye on things for me, please. His name was Mickey. Ben Mickey. Ben Mickey. Ben Mickey. You don't know how to use the controls. Fucking hell. You're enlightened and you don't know how to use it. Just work it out. It's not hard. Here's the one, right? There's his thing, right? See hide in broadcast? Jump on it if it's appropriate. Okay, alright. Hey Green, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Now,
Have a busy day today.
hey,
No, it's going to be a busy day today. There's a lot of things going on.
at work,
Everything's,
it's a busy day.
yeah, work, family, the usual stuff.
Mm. So where are you at in this whole process, Frank? Are you sort of two minds, or are you still in the camp of the bullies, or?
No, I'm still doing things on Google Plus as far as the community is concerned.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Mate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Definitely, I'm really focusing on the one of the communities that I put up. And there's times I talk to some of the guys here, just listen to conversations, just trying to find a hangout where I could explore new ideas. So,
Okay, I heard that. Fucking wrong approach. I'll tell you why. I don't know whether you believe it or not. Well, you obviously don't. But and my good friend Frank and I got a good friend Benny. Well, actually, we've got a little posse of us now, enlightened people. It turns out my kids. So where I was saying that I thought we were Asperger's because I just couldn't work out the anomalies. Asperger's seemed to be a good fit from the video that I saw, but I don't think it's that now. I think it's enlightened state. So for some reason, like my son's got it, I got it, another son's got it. The other son, I think's pretty close to it. Daughter might have it. Her boyfriend's got it, and it is the pure alpha state. And what that means is the thing that destroys the fabric of a human being is ego and lies. In other words, an ego is specifically a collection of false notional ideas about reality. So the data comes on board and it gets corrupted by the selfish survival instinct. And because it's instinctual, you can't fucking do anything about it. It just does what it does. And the Cherokee story says, feed the fucking good wolf. And that's absolutely correct. And that's it. So the human condition has a baseline of a true, false, or a dichotomy that's basically true or false. Now, the enlightened state is the state where you don't have any errors in memory about reality created by this self-serving survival instinct. You have zero of those, and therefore you live with truth. And this is where the spiritual teachings say it's the truth will set you free. And it's absolutely true. And when you understand all this shit, Frank, it explains pretty much everything. And if you took the time to observe us, and actually we were going to have a bit of a party, with a bunch of us in the room.
that's great.
Yeah, but yeah, well, that's a bit dismissive, Frank. Now, a bunch of us in that room, you'd actually observe the favours of the lightning quick movement of the mind. It's not a fucking racing mind, like you pricks would have make up. So you'd observe that, but you'd also notice the short. So Benny, right? and Benny is enlightened, and you don't know this Frank dude, but he's enlightened. And there's a 14-year-old dude we come across, he's enlightened. Rose is enlightened, but she's got fucking issues because of her clunky ideas about religion, which fuck her over. But her friend Lukey, he's enlightened, no issues. Phantom, no, Frank. No, that Phantom's a fucking wishy-washy. I don't class him as... I see it, but fucking his wishy-washy drives me nuts. Oh, Tomahata, I think, maybe. But there's still maturity issues. Yeah, fucking oath, that Phantom. And wishy-washy stuff, fucking... It's the thing that slays you. That's what's happened to me through this whole process. So that brings me back to you, Frank. What you do, right, and you're not alone, so I wouldn't worry about it. It's just behavioural, and you fix the fucking behaviour, everything's good. You sit on the fucking fence, and I absolutely deplore it. Terrible, terrible thing that people do when they sit on the fence, because they basically are condoning, within the group context, the bad behaviours. Now, you fucking saw them, and you didn't do a damn thing about it. You sat on the fucking fence. Cerebus did exactly the same, and what's happened to you guys is you've fouled your drinking water, and it fucks you over, because egos are no good. And just on that, right, while we're on it, right, an ego is the baseline problem for all humanity. If we had no ego, we'd all be living to the God standard, because all this stuff, the God stuff and everything's built in. So ego's the problem, the baseline problem that we should all focus on to fix problems. So you as a professional, you should be focusing on that like a bull at a gate. That's where all your issues will stem from, I promise you. Yeah, Rob. And I don't know what you know, but, if you tell me something, I can tell you whether it's right or wrong. Yeah, so here's the kicker, right? Karma's built in, absolutely, right? Reality is absolute. Subjectivity only occurs in the brain, not in reality. Everything's objective. But what happens when a person... Hey, what'd you do that for? Frankie, what are you up to? Oh, no, don't do that. Do not. Put mine back. I'll do it. That's a risk. I don't know. Frank's potentially in a tough spot. And he could get fucking desperate, so don't. Even though you think he might be a good dude. I've seen the good go fucking bad in a heartbeat. Yeah, well, I don't want to take the chance. I mean, he's a good bloke. It won't happen. But if it's not, I don't want to get fucking screwed over. I've been screwed over fucking for the last 12 months. So are you saying Frank used to porn bar? No, not fucking used. Yeah, you got it? Thank you. It's just being safe, that's all. Just being safe, that's all. I mean, if you're just fucking doing something benign, who's got a fucking problem? Where's the problem? Okay. Now, here's the kicker, Frank. And this is why you have to fucking deal with this shit. Because if you don't, downstream there's a problem. Now, you're a professional. You should know the reality of palliative care. Palliative care is caring for the person dying. Yeah, no. 100%. Operational mode. No fucking cut, no slack. It doesn't, they're niceties, Frankie. Now, so what happens when we get to end of life if we carried ego with us? Now, ego is based on lies. Lies lead to more lies. And, you know, like the sex side is based on the self-survival. So if we've transgressed sexually, this little kid bag of goodies sits there to the end of life scenario when you're really frail, you can't get out of bed, can't scratch your ass, and you're in this trapped little cocoon. And if you ask palliative care nurses, they'll tell you this is an extremely sad, sad thing. Because the person can't resolve anything because they can't get out of the bed to go and see the people and say, oh shit, I'm sorry, I'm just about to bump off. You know, so they're locked in this fucking, and this is the worst outcome of karma. So there's real hell. How do you avoid that thing? Is you fucking never tell a lie. You don't sit on the fucking fence. You make sure that you achieve enlightenment. And then when you get to that stage of life, you just die. And you die in a peaceful death. Now, my father had a near-death experience, and he reports a wonderful, wonderful feeling of peace. Now, he is a godly person, not in the religious context, but in the real context. And that was about it. Anyway, Frank, your turn.
I'm hearing an echo, I'm sorry.
An echo?
Yes.
Okay. That'll be me, probably. I caused that. But I usually tell the people to get fucked and get on with it. But for you, Frank,
Thank you. I was wondering, with the good and bad wolf, or truth and falsehood, are they totally separate from one another, or they're interconnected?
No, totally separate. So it's, again, the computing model. A one is not a zero, is not a one. It's true, it's false, it's true, it's false, that's it. So the two wolf story is specifically about opposites. Now, it makes sense when you look at it from this point of view. One survival instinct about the self having a certain set of characteristics. Another separate survival instinct about the self having, having its own set of characteristics. So they're definitely a binary sort of scenario. So, it's just like the computers. The computers come, and actually, if you look around, there are other examples of this phenomena where you have a baseline that's really simple. 1-0 computers. Humans. Good wolf, bad wolf. Accounting. A equals L plus P, R minus E. That's the baseline. You can't go any lower, and going upstream, it covers everything. Economics has baselines of simple magnitude. And there's a thing called entropy, which I think relates to this sort of phenomenon where you start small and then just expand out. So definitely completely distinct. So what that means is that you can actually, it allows you, so there's no 5, 6, 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11 fucking times, there's only 2. So it allows you to be very precise and very accurate about what you're dealing with and observing.
Is there any value with a bad wolf?
Sorry, with a bad wolf?
Yeah, is there any value?
I understand the question. So this is what you got to be mindful of. Listen very carefully, right? So we're collecting the data, so we've got a set of data coming in through the senses. At the sense point, it's absolute. So in other words, it's the absolute record or truth about what's being observed, including the context. It comes on board this data set, and it goes over or is reviewed by the selfish, self-survival instinct. This is the thing. Now, this element is an instinct. Right? Now, once that's done, it creates in memory the false representation of the original data that came on board. So you can see that the instinct itself sits independent, does what it has to do. It's the creator of the error. You understand? Do you understand?
Could you summarize that somehow? Because there was a lot of info.
No, it's actually, yeah, okay, I appreciate what you're saying, but it's actually not. I think, Frank, see, this is the phenomenon that's just so prevalent. When you have a model, right, or an idea in mind about reality when it comes to behavioural subjects, this conflicts with this. So what that does is put you into this cognitive dissonance state. Now, I want to explain this to you because this is really important for you to think about. I'm not telling you what to do, but give it some thought. This is this cognitive dissonance, and it's not explained well in the literature. And it's fucking simpler than it's in the literature. It's very fucking simple. In memory, you have an error, right? So it doesn't represent the truth. And it's done that way because of this self-survival instinct. It creates a memory error. A collection of these over time is what we call the ego. But for simplicity, let's just say that there's one error in there. So it's sitting in memory. How did it get there? It's the self-survival instinct. So we've got two separate things. We've got the instinct and the resulting error. And you've got to remember too, subtly, the truth is sitting with the error because of the nature of the beast. Now, so cognitive dissonance only ever occurs on specific situations, and it must be this specific. There's no variables. So a person outside shows the true state. Inside, we've got the false state and the true state sitting in there, but the false state is the predominant one. The other one's just sitting there as a sleeper. The true state that's external is recognized by the true state that's internal as a valid threat. That has to be your true statement. Otherwise, we do not experience cognitive dissonance. It recognizes it, and I know this is true because of the rapid speed of recognition and the person going from zero to cognitive state in an instant. So we've got now the false state in memory accompanied by the local copy of the true state, and the true state now are confronting, and this is the thing that causes cognitive dissonance. The downstream behaviours are a fight-flight pattern. The fight is made up of two elements: blocking of data or repurposing of data that's coming in from the threat, and an attack on the threat. You know, bitchy, bad behaviour, nastiness, you know, real petty, mean-spirited stuff. That's the fight response. Then there's the cover my ass response, right, before the person leaves, and then there's the leave response, so they just fucking go away and run away. Now, what I just described to you, I don't know whether you got that, Frank, but that is cognitive dissonance. But it's an extremely powerful tool. You have no idea how powerful that is. Or maybe you do. Anyway, ask again if I've missed something on.
So why is the bad wolf here? What is the purpose of it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see the problem that you're having. Okay, so we need to separate out the two elements: the ego, which is a collection of errors in memory, and this survival instinct. They're two separate things, and they must remain. They are completely separate. The self-survival instinct is there to look after and take advantage for the self. And you see it in the animal kingdom. The lion, hot druids, the baboons, the alpha baboons. It's the survival instinct that we need. It's the thing that triggers off the fight-flight response when we need it to get the body pumping and all of that. So, do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. The thing that's amazing about it, Frank, is how fucking obvious and simple it is. And it's just such a disappointment that we haven't fucking worked it out and made this the literature. Because it's so powerful, so bloody powerful. And it makes sense of everything. I mean, you've got religion explained, spirituality explained, all in this simple concept. Because, if you look at those two wolves, you've got selfishness, which is probably, the sinning model, and or authentically selflessness, where it's about loving thy neighbour. And that's a herd instinct. The herd is about the neighbourhood, keeping it all together. And, it isn't any more complicated than fucking that. And then when you get good at it, you can observe, like we do it in lightning time. And, well, it'd be interesting to know if we can get you to enlightened state, because you're not there yet. But if we could get you there, that'd be massive for us, because we want to see whether we can actually enlighten people all around the fucking planet. And so my agenda is, when I say crush Islam, it's not to crush Islam at all. Well, sorry, it is, but it's political Islam, which I know is a reality. In return, we bring Jesus, the real dude, who teaches the two wolf story, basically. He tells exactly the same story. And if we can do that, then, imagine what our world might look like if we've got Christians and Muslims sitting around the table enjoying each other's company. Instead of fucking, the defensive postures and, all the bullshit that's in the doctrine. It's all pure Rumi, R-U-M-I, whatever his name is. He's right, hey?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. You know why I put it out there. A little bit cheeky we are. So, Frank, I think we've done enough. No, it's up to you. So, see, that's the other thing. We respect the other human. So even though we're tired or whatever, if you need something, we're there for you. That's not the same behaviour that's happening in that bloody bullying group. It's just not. It's just not. It is what it is. You got to let go of the false ideas. You got to embrace what's true, and then the more that you're true, the more likely you'll, become enlightened. I don't know. I can't report yet on whether, because each instance that I know, it's sort of like it's been born on the people. It's been part of a born thing. But hopefully there's a way. Hang on, I'll just ask. Rumi. I don't know. Who is he? Oh, Gohan. That's Gohan. I'll have a chat to him because I don't know which side of the fucking fence he's sitting. What's up? Hey, Gohan, are you a good wolf or a bad wolf? You'll say fucking good wolf anyway.
Now, is the objective in order to eliminate the bad wolf altogether?
Yeah, well, it's the fucking problem. Now, you've got to be careful there, Frank. Remember, what we're trying to eliminate is just a bag full of faulty ideas about reality. So, in other words, in doing that, we move closer and closer to absolute truth.
What would you call dreams?
Dreams?
Yes.
They're just events that occur in the mind. See, you can't trust the mind. You just can't. It's capable of creating things that aren't based in reality. You know, just let them fucking entertain you, whatever. But the absolute measure of reality is the senses, or the moment of the senses pulling in the data. It's not ambiguous. It's extremely black and white. There's no error at that level. As soon as it gets up into the brain, you get error state. So if a dream creates an error state in memory, it's added to ego. If it doesn't, if it's true state, then there's no harm done. There's just no harm done in true state.
Can you give me an example of a true state dream?
No, I don't have dreams that I can think of. And they're not worth thinking about. If they tickle your fancy or give you a hard on or whatever, so be it. But I just don't labour dreams at all. It's not something I worry about.
You don't dream.
Well, hang on. I'm not sure if I dream or not. I can't think of the last one. Yeah, no, I have had dreams, but they're not part of anything that I'm concerned about. I just don't give a shit. I don't see the point.
Do you think that there's any value in dreams?
Well, not in my experience. Just hang on a minute. Danny Frank. Yeah. Do you have dreams? Don't say fucking wet dreams. Many. Okay. And what's their significance? Not wet. Yeah. Cool. Ooh. Oh, fear? And nostalgia. Oh, fuck. Yeah, Frank, have a talk to Danny Frank. But I don't relate to any of that. Here's the problem, Frank. There's a real problem in taking that as a fucking useful tool for diagnosis. You're making assumptions, or you're making. It's like Descartes. You know that prick Descartes? He said, "I think, therefore I am." That's an absolute untrue statement. Because if you rely on the brain, which is capable of hallucinations and all manner of tricks, you're never going to draw any valid conclusions. What we do is we take senses as the truth, which is basically observational and experimental science. Experiential. So it's the senses, right? That's the absolute measure of reality, and you let that govern your decision making. In other words, that leads to science being the boss, as opposed to entertaining beliefs. Beliefs. No human should entertain beliefs or assumptions as reality. Treat them for what they are until you know that they're real, and that's to me, that's a fallacy.
So everything is based on reality. So things like movies, works of fiction, even surreal art,
Yeah,
all
but
these places
yeah.
of value.
No, not at all. But again, it's got to be truth. When someone writes a book, it's usually based on their experiential reality. So, they see something, they, hear something, because our senses are the only way we get information into our heads. And it's the only way. So a book is a recollection of those experiences. If it's a romantic story, it's off the Good Wolf, because that's where true love comes from, and joy. If it's a bit of a thriller or a bloody murder mystery, there'll be selfish characteristics So you've got all of the criteria, and then when you produce that, as long as it's authentic to the senses, it doesn't break anything, so it becomes a classic and everyone reads it. Art is an expression of I haven't thought about art too much, so no, I'll leave that. Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just wondering what's your thoughts on, like, case in point, Star Wars.
Star Wars?
Yeah, the movie Star Wars.
You're fucking kidding me, aren't you?
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, I thought it was a reasonable movie.
Better yet, was there a superhero that you liked as a kid?
Nah.
No, you was not into that.
Nah.
How about cartoons or anything like that? Anything that you were really into? You know, as a
Nah.
really?
Hey,
Wow.
Frank. Can I say something candidly to you?
Sure, no problem.
Right. I think what you're doing at the fucking moment is you haven't heard anything we fucking said, and that's the blocking thing of the cognitive dissonance. And what you're doing now is setting through your main agenda, which is to gather some information to basically make a diagnosis on your professional thing that Rob's a bit cuckoo. So I think,
I don't
mate,
make diagnoses.
I know, but your answer gave you away, my friend. Very disappointing, but there you go. That's life. If you want to come back for another chat another day, you're more than welcome.
Oh, no.
Yeah, fuck off. Now, what's that, mate? You get it right? Did you pick it up? The reason, yeah, it was fucking obvious. So fucking obvious. That's right. Because if he was listening, he would have got excited. And he went off this stupid fucking tangent. Yeah. Sitting there with his thumb up. He had his fingers in his fucking ear and he's going, la, 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 la. Fucking appalling. Now, so, well, you know, it's another day in paradise. Wrong. Wrong. You're messing with the gods here, you fucking moron. They're so fucking stupid. Oh my goodness. And you know, the other thing to fucking notice, when he's in there, the numbers go up because they all sit around like fucking wolves and they got their hands on their dickies and pulling away and say, "Ooh, we got him, we got him, we got him." I'll try. I reckon they'll be a bit shy now. Hey. I am outbands there. Yeah, will do. What do you want, arsehole?
Robbie! You right, man? Me?
What are you fucking deaf? What do you want, asshole?
Rob. I just thought I'd pop in and give us both something to do.
Well, no, in this house, it's 100% truth all the fucking time, or you may as well piss off.
Yeah, well, no, I'm being honest. I wanted to pop in because it would give us both something to do.
No, that's a load of fucking bollocks. You're here for other reasons.
Well, what are they?
See, if you want something to do, go to the fucking pub or go jerk off or do whatever you fucking normally do. You don't need to come here. Surely you've got fucking more in your life than spending time on the internet. So why did you... Hang on, shut up. Why did you get involved with the other crew?
In what way, Rob? In what way?
See, right now I feel like fucking throwing you off a cliff. This is the house of truth. Now you know what you do, I know what I do. So the question again is, why did you get involved with the other crew? Yeah, hang on. My friend, White Guilt, and he says you became buddy with the trolls. I said, Frank, oh no, fucking hell, you pricks, too many of you. It's too confusing.
No, I was going to ask you, Rob, why are you spamming?
What's that?
Why you keep spamming?
Alright, I picked up your agenda and I'm going to take... Now, listen very carefully.
Okay, yeah.
Listen very fucking carefully. I don't know who you are or what you think you fucking are, but you're nothing to us in terms of our capacity as a group.
Okay.
I will fucking destroy your life.
Rob, there's no need to be like that.
No, I'm not. It's not mucking around. I'm actually deadly serious. I will find you and I will destroy your life. And I'll do it publicly. So whatever respect you hold in whatever community, it will be gone. What that means for you as an individual, it means that as you go through... How old are you?
40.
Yeah, right. So for the next... I'd say that you'll make 60 if you're fucking lucky. Do you smoke?
Every day.
Yeah, well, fucking maybe before 60. And, you know, you might get emphysema, and that's a fucking horrible disease. But anyway, what I'm saying to you is you'll live that life on the streets, more than likely. I'll take away your value proposition because you've done wrong, and I'll expose it. If you think I'm fucking joking, well, good luck to you. Now, this is your last chance. In this fucking room, when you're with me, you tell it exactly how it is. And remember this, I lived the nightmare that these pricks imposed on me, so I know all about it. And the moment you tell a fucking lie, I'm on to you. Or I've got a secondary question and I'll keep pursuing it till I get to the point where I know the truth.
Okay.
So the question again is, why did you join up with that group?
I haven't joined up with the group, Rob.
Why did you become buddy-buddy with that group?
I'm not buddy-buddy with the group, Rob.
Okay, you're fucked. One more question. What's your real name?
Robert Matthews.
Now, is that the truth?
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks, Lex, for that. Now, if you want, here's the final offer. I'm not gonna have a relationship with yours. It's gonna be like this. Final one-time offer. You better come with a fucking clear mind. I can gift to you a good experience for the rest of your life. Right, but you must come 100% prepared to be honest. No, I don't need apologies, mate. All I need is fucking truth, and that's what I class as an apology. Barry, fuck, what's your name again? Guilt. Did you get the guy's name, Robert Matthews? I think, was it Robert Matthews?
Yeah.
What's the matter? Are you feeling uncomfortable?
Oh, I know. No, I'm just making a smoke. I am.
Alright, well, you should fucking give that shit up.
I know. You told me before. You told me that before.
Yeah, but fucking do it. It's as simple as doing it. I've done it. Fucking do it. Have you got family?
Yeah. What? Did you used to smoke?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, answer the question on the family.
What about it? I said yeah. Of course I've got family, Rob.
What is it? What's the family? I've got 7 children. What's your family?
Mum, dad, brothers, sisters.
Seven. Okay, all right. That's now. Do they like you?
I hope so.
Yeah, well, that tells me there's issues just by laughing. All right. Anyway, we can gift to you a brilliant life because that's what we enjoy. My crew, right, the godly lot. So that's the offer. What else is there? That's it. So I don't even fucking want to hear anything out of you at all. And if you fuck around on the internet, so what have I done so far? Well, I know that you don't come to me. I know the road to death, right, for you. And that's enough justice and it's your own doing. So if you want a better outcome, prove it on it, come back. Yep, that's it. But if you fuck around, right, if I see you fucking around anymore at all, the offer is withdrawn and you just go do whatever you fucking like. But I don't want to see you again. All right.
Okay. Can I? Oh, do you want me to go?
Yep, absolutely. No, Mr. Guilt. The way it works, and you know this, right? Huh? He was a bad boy. Fucking oath he's a bad boy. You know, you don't do it in margins. That's just fucking crap. The solution, and to solve their problem, right, the ego problem, they have to recognize the truth honestly. So if someone comes to me and says, I'm sorry, and I don't feel it as being sincere, well, you know, I'll tell them to piss off. So I'm just trying to do things quick, smart, get on with other things. That's all. So your way, and like Penny's way and bloody Rose's way, you like the soft shoe shuffle. Yes, sir. And remember, we're fucking equals, for crying out loud. Is it safe to do so? All right. Yeah, all right. Well, if you're fucking born by me. Oh, is that the evil city? Really? Oh, it is too. That river, I remember. Well, that river makes sense. Yeah. Well, I was thinking of Dubai, you know, firstly. I'd like to visit, but then again, they're a bit of an eyesore. I mean, it's not the way humans were meant to live. Humans were meant to live out the back box in the bush. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Very empire-ish. Empire. No, more empire. I'm just frightened that you'll go to a window and there'll be a naked Sheila there, or babe. You know what they'll probably do? They'll take that photo and they'll say that's a dildo or something. Yes, Benny. Not Benny, sorry. Look at the pressure you put me under. God, you people. So many of you fucking now. What is it? 20? Hey, the viewer count's gone up to 8. I might go shopping, see if there's anyone else wants to come in for a talk. Relinquish their sins. Hey. Danny. Yeah, but hang on a minute. You know that thing, that's a two-way street, right? And who was a naughty boy, you know, playing the drama queen? Well, of course you can, because I'm reliable. When was it? You know, when I go, Benny, don't, Benny, leave it, Benny. And you go and unhide, or broadcast. Benny, don't. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, I was thinking it happened to Benny. It's the same thing. So I'm fucking hopeless. I wonder if Benny was Rob. Then there's only one of us. Yeah, well, I reckon it'd be easier if I could, because, you know, Benny's my favourite. I reckon it'd be easier if we had just, yes, if we just had one name. So Benny, that'll do. No, I put you on top, number 1, numero uno. Yeah, Benny 1, 2, 3. Benny 1, Benny 1, Benny 1, Benny 2, Benny 2, Benny 3. It's hard being a genius, isn't it? Everyone thinks you're a mug. I wonder, do you reckon we got through to Frank? I'm pretty sure no. Oh, hey, was that your answer to Frank? You know, green soul Sufi. I wouldn't know. Is that your answer to Frank or something else? Move so quick with the old brain. Oh, shit. You got that out before I asked it, didn't you? How's that work? Because Plato did say something about masters of time. You can read them before you are. Fucking hell. That's handy. Can cut down conversation time. You see, I've always, you know how time goes horizontally, right? During you ask. Well, I understand that because you see me doing that all the time, right? I chop them off. Fuck, I got it. Shut up. Yeah, it's pretty quick. I don't sort of see it from that way. I don't notice it, you know. I'm just doing what I'm doing when I'm doing. There's no time ratio. Hang on. I'll just go and see if some people want to come in. Hey, dude, do you know Sugar Rhodes? Ah, bugger. Oh, she's the lady that this Mork the dork, the sex pervert, abused. I kind of need to get a hold of her, and I can't find her at the minute. I need her ASAP. And we might even have to, because he's just, you know, he thinks with his dick. That's his priorities in life. Should cut that thing off. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, fucking nuisance, baby. See, the thing is, you know, like us, right? Peoples is peoples, and they're all equal worth. He abuses peoples, and that's wrong. Criminal. I don't know. I've never really thought about that. So, viewers, what Danny said was, I wonder if someone cuts their dick off, do they still lust? I don't know. That's a good question. Perhaps we have to do an experiment. You know, a bit of a guinea pig trial. Yeah, possibly. What are they going to do though? You know, it's sort of like banging your head against the wall. It's all connected to the brain. Yeah, but the brain's just a fucking stupid organ that, you know, just does its little thing, dance. The primary organs are the ones that are important. Oh, hey. Oh, the heart is main organ? Really? You think? Sort of like the mask. Actually, that's worth thinking about, isn't it? Because what we're trying to work out is, so we got the senses sorted. They're just collectors. The instinctual stuff, they override, and they've got an agenda of their own, and that's the moral dilemma. Then it comes on board to the memory. So you got a memory store sort of scenario. The heart's for pumping blood around the system. Then you got the nervous system. Yeah, but anyway, just go back to the dick thing cut off, right, then you're not in the land of reality anymore. You lose the organ, you definitely are not in the land of reality. All you're doing is, and the brain, when it's sort of got to create reality, that's where all the errors occur. So then you get an error, and that's ego, 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 and it kills your enlightenment. So that's another reason why this prick shouldn't molest women, because it screws with their opportunity to get to enlightenment. Yeah. So that's that. Now, in the, I reckon, I mean, the heart pumps all the blood and all the feelings go through it, all the emotions. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. All the feelings, right? So the good wolf, that's the God, that's the love, that's the joy, and it creates all of that. It's the generator of all of that, right? So all the good emotions, feelings, right? Now the other wolf, it creates all the emotions related to the fear factor, the main organ. Piano organ. It's a system, Benny. It's a system. Yeah, okay. Well, you presented. Oh, sorry. Forgot again. No. You presented, Frank. Is there one of us, two of us, three of us, four of us, seven of us, eight of us? Yeah, I got a collection like that. I'm actually a really good photographer, and I wasn't trained. I really got a really good eye, and I take really, so I know just instinctively. Yeah, well, when I looked at it, right, it's not what I class as a good one. I like it. You go for the theme, but my standards are a bit higher. Actually, let's see. I've got some photos of mine here. Pornos. Yeah, I'll show you what's in the what's that folder, the safe porn folder. No. Whoa! Yeah, I took all of these. But I just got a different way. I got a different way. I just see things a little bit different. And that's what I take a shot of. Yeah, I like taking shots of trees up to the sky. That's a shitty one. That's okay, but yeah. That's a good one. That's that one. They're all going to bed. Aboriginal. Australian Aboriginals, you know, is the theme. You're black people.
No, they're black people, slaves, but
Yeah.
not natives.
Yeah, well, it's real. I mean, it's just a real bit of art. Is that what you mean? What, a real person? And no. Statue carving. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's good. It's a great piece of art. Really quite good. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I get it. This is your artistic connection. Mm. I can see a bit of artwork coming out now. Oh, I don't want to. I want to get another session with McChicken. Yeah, sort of like we hold court and then people come in. We just have people flowing through the door. That'd be fucking funny. Oh, hey, did I tell you, Seeger, I kicked Seeger in the ass big time? It's McChicken Penny. Yeah. Oh, he did a terrible thing. I still don't know whether it's legit. What did he do? He basically said something that was being broadcast, right, which was disparaging to my, you know what they typically do. What they do. He did it, and then I called him out, right, and then he was defiant, and I thought, fucking hell, what a surprise, because he was coming along really well. Anyway, so you know, whenever he gets his shit together, I just have to have a chat to him and work out what's going on. But it was as if he was always part of their team. Very big surprise. I don't think that's the case. Yeah. I get you. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And that's the way I feel about it too. But naughty house, naughty corner, naughty, 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 naughty. Can't do that shit. Wrong, 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 wrong. Because it's those little shopping events that set you back. They just do. Yeah, I was supposed to go and see some baseball that day, and I just said, no, go and get effed. Nah, he'll have to, he's got to reconcile. So, yeah, well, that's all right. It's you and him, not me and him. Not only me. Oh, sorry. Shh, 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 shh. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Hang on, I'll see if somebody. Shh, I can't see. Go and see if someone's around.
I am sick of all right, just kind of a
Hi. My name's Rob Beasley, and I'm the victim of internet bullying. Right now, I'm becoming quite famous, it would appear. All these people that don't know anything about me are telling all manner of lies, broadcasting fucking thousands of them. And I'm taking action, right? So what's happening? I'm collecting all this information, filling up my damn computer. I've got a mountain of it now. And what's happening is every bit that these bloody morons do, I capture it, and then I do a running commentary. So this is the latest one today. Now have a look at the Joker here with a fucking ring in his nose. Fucking hell. Got it. Say something's going on here that's not right, but let's roll the tape and just see.
cheaply made video here, but I just wanted to be able to upload quickly because I've got another.
Notice that he's running around without his shirt on as well. Just a couple of outliers to notice. I don't know whether they... Well, let's see what happens.
Video that's processing, but I am...
Now, long pause there, thinking, collecting his thoughts, right? So an excellent read, which tells me that he's got a script in his mind. He's collecting it, and then now he's going to spew it out.
Sick of all these damn hangouts about Rob Beasley.
Oh, that's me. Well, here's a tip, mate. Don't fucking watch them. And I didn't make them, so I hope you're not going to blame me.
Leave me out of this shit. I got involved for a period of time with this, and then when I realized, hey, this isn't going to stop.
Yeah, it's because I've been bullied for 12 months and I've been standing up against the bullies. I just don't back down. I don't sit on the fence, that's all. Why the hell are you making a noise about it, you drama queen?
It's just going to keep going and going and going.
Oh, fuck. Go away then.
It's the Energizer Bunny. You know?
Can't get out of that nose ring, though. Wouldn't do it myself.
Yes, I get it. You all don't like Rob Beasley. I don't like him either. I have him
Why?
blocked. That's how I dealt with him. I just blocked.
Why? Oh, I know why. I probably told him something that got up his ego butt.
Blocked him just like I blocked down corner the troll, down corner the person who.
Hey, Danny, do you know if this guy's homosexual? Yeah, I think he is, from memory. Oh, yeah, he did. He told me. Oh, yeah, you too. Wonder if he's in love with us. Completely nude, no pants at all. Oh my goodness. This is just bizarre.
Recorded a private hangout with Nate Schleer, or whatever the hell his name is, when, yeah, he'd be talking about his alcohol problem, and you know that he has some sort of he thinks differently. It might be Asperger's, it might be something else.
Hang on a minute. Did he say I was an alcoholic? Let's go back. I thought it might have been someone else because I don't even drink. No, not you. Oh, good. Asperger's. Someone else. All right, we'll roll the tape.
And you had the guy in tears. Down, I'm saying when I say you, I mean Down. Down had the guy, and Johnny May had the guy in tears.
Oh, well, that'll be right because those two are trolls. That makes sense. Oh, shit. Oh, I told you about bloody Down Corner. So Down Corner was apparently involved in this all the way back, and they're dedicated fucking criminal persecutors. Oh, Dan and Johnny May were buddies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is just making so much sense. Oh my goodness, this just all ties together now. Bloody hell. So, because bloody Down Corner, this is why Down's crook so cranky at the moment. What a gift. Oh no, I didn't knew Down was crooked, but I didn't know that he was tight with John May. I didn't know that. That's massive, massive. And what it does for me, it helps my case. Because what I can do now is make a link back to that American between those two, and then that lumps the Americans. I mean, we can't touch them here, I suppose, jurisdiction-wise, but it lays the groundwork. Because, see, I couldn't figure John May out. You know, so the poisoner, the absolute poisoner, is Down Corner. He's the one pissing in the pond. He creates the environment, and no, Benny, there was recent form, I promise you. Oh, sorry, Benny, Rob, Benny, Danny, Rob. I'm so confused. Well, not really. Frank, Benny, Danny, Frank. Gee.
Total breakdown. He's saying, please leave me alone. And then you turn around and upload this supposed.
Well, this is a really powerful piece, right? This guy putting this up. So this is something I can show to John May. Because I know it all ties it. Okay.
Supposedly private hangout as a public YouTube video so you can poke fun at him. And you're going to tell the group of people who are making fun of Rob Beasley, oh, you're just trolling him, and yet you're going to be that much of a troll and that cruel that you're going to pull something where someone's had a full breakdown. You're going to then someone who's a nice guy who tries to be decent to people.
I think he likes me.
You're going to post that on YouTube, and you're going to complain about people that are making fun of someone like Rob Beasley, who claims that he has no ego, and yet he has the biggest ego out there, who claims that he...
That's not true. I don't have an ego. I don't have an ego. I don't.
He is enlightened, and that everyone else...
Yes, I am.
...isn't, and that everyone's problem is their ego.
That's correct. Settle down, dude. Don't get so worked up. Pregnant pause, pregnant pause.
And then talks about how stupid religion is, and then yet he quotes...
Yeah. What can I do? It's the fucking truth. Not my fault it's a scrambled eggs mess.
Rob quotes Jesus all the time.
See how he said, Rob? I think he's a fan. I think he's a fan.
And you ask him, well, Bill, how about quoting Buddha and some other people who have been enlightened? They won't do it.
Because I haven't read it.
Rob Beasley has issues, okay?
No.
There's no doubt about it. You know?
No. Now see that. This is a bad habit that humans have. They broadcast something and then they say no doubt about it, and it's based on fucking bullshit.
No, maybe the guy does belong in a loony bin. Who knows?
No, I'm not mad.
If he's not actually hurting anyone, why do you have to exploit it?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're fucking internet trolls.
I got involved with it for a period of time, and when I realized what was happening and that it wasn't going to stop, I said, wait a minute, this is stupid. Okay? If you don't like Rob Beasley, then just leave him alone.
Yeah, I think he loves me.
Don't talk to him. Stop making a bunch of drama out of this shit.
Yes.
This is worse than the kind of thing that people do to G-Man.
Yeah, well, they're certainly fixated, that's for sure. This is golden.
Sometimes I feel sorry for G-Man. Most of the time when people invite him to some sort of hangout, it's not to get any sort of information. It's not to gain his perspective. It's to make fun of him. That's
correct. And that's exactly what happens. And it's exactly what happened to me. Notice the hoarse voice. This is dealing with these pricks over a 12-month period.
What most of it's always about. You know, it's tiring. I don't have a bullying mentality. I mean, I can get mad at someone and I can join in for a few moments, but that's not my thing.
Yeah. I know. Well, I met him once. I wouldn't mind having a session with him, actually. But he hasn't come back.
I don't like piling on to somebody because I know how that feels. I know what that feels like. Why would I want to do that to somebody else? You know, I'm tired of all these damn invites to these hangouts where that's all you guys want to do. Rob Beasley. If you don't like him, leave him alone. Shut up about him.
Brilliant. This guy is expressing exactly, so he's doing an exceptional job of the circumstances. So, yeah, he's honest. Yeah, and because he's been persecuted in his own life, so he knows the pain of it that it causes.
It's just tiring, you know? It's tiring. All right, just kind of a cheap.
Okay. Yeah, but what he did, right, is the wrong thing, right? He stepped down because of the bullies. And when you step down, they keep going. They get a life. So you can't afford to step down on the bullies. You just can't. You got to learn how to deal with them and how to step up. So again, it's that old issue of sitting on the fence. He's had a whinge, but he's sat on the fence. He hasn't done anything of substance that, helps the person that's being bullied. So I hope you're watching this, Frank Green, you freaking arsehole. Now, I'll just go out and see. Oops, don't want to do that. Danny, that was a big deal. Very, very powerful stuff. So, yeah, that was gold because it linked the key players. So now we know who's driving it. And that's why you got Bulldog. So Bulldog fronts up bloody nearly every damn day. It's a complete obsession for him, or a power trip or whatever. And he darts around here. He does all this bloody leg work to make sure, micromanaging everything. Yeah, Cerberus. So the key shitheads are coming out of the woodwork. Cerberus is just lower than fucking low can go. Sydney, Mork, and Bulldog. So I think we're good to go. Hang on. Cerberus is the guy that had the crazy laugh. He needs mental help. Yeah. Well, I never thought of him in that way. I thought he was a reasonable individual, that he fitted his profile. But I've really noticed just in the voice, there's something there that sort of, real mental health. Because when I was in, I did see some people, and yeah. Yeah, well, it is crazy. I reckon he needs mental health. Well, I reckon there's a couple of them that need mental health. Sydney, because, he was doing the slitting the throat stuff, and he did stupid stares and then he did odd movements. John May, well, obsessive compulsive disorders or whatever, and just bullying to the extreme max. And I mean, I've seen him at work, and he drives at home to fucking nearly destroying a person. And that's what we see mentioned by Kazumi in this thing. And I've witnessed it. You got that John or Tommy Tomato or something. Jello's psychologically wacky. Look at the weight he's put on, his funny coloured hair, the way he relates to ladies. I mean, the whole lot of them fucking deserve to be in a mental hospital. I'm not joking. I mean, they point the finger at me for having bipolar, which is manic up and down things, and I don't have that. I just don't. I was cleared basically in Melbourne. But these guys, if you profile fair income, and Vladimir too, he's the same. They're manic, they're obsessive. I think these fellas bloody, wouldn't that be bloody justice? These pricks put me into a hospital when I didn't need to be there. I was just frustrated beyond means. And Frank Green Soft Fee, he deserves to go because there's something out of whack when you're a professional and you can't detect this behaviour and you don't do anything about it. So, oh. You're kidding. Never mind Jello, and they are probably gay. I'm going to confront them on that. You know, Sydney and Jello, gay. Could this be a bloody gay community? Maybe. You know, you get those sort of things. The sick sort of. Sydney and Jello, yes. They're very sassy and egotistical. Well, the whole group are egotistical, sassy. Yeah, I see that there. Sassy and egotistical. Well, bloody Sydney, right? Sydney, he's got that stupid fucking black hat. I don't know if you've seen that. You know, I thought that was rather camp. You know, I really did. And then he's got this other fucking hat, puts it down, and he pulls it over his head. He's got the skull cap one, and because you know he's like got a little niche wardrobe, and then he's got these fucking sunglasses, right, that he wears all the time, and he puts his head right up to the camera, you know, trying to fucking intimidate you. But you know what the French hat. What I'm wondering is there more to this than meets the eye? Is there some sort of sexual context for the group? Because, you know, the ego, sex, blah, blah, blah. And we know that there are mobs. Then we've got this Mark. He asked the lady to undress. They've got, what's her name? The lady that said she showed them boobies. So, you know, I think there's some sort of cause it. And, you know, if you've got ego, it's the sex. Yeah, fiction fighter. Well, she said, she actually said it, and I think we've got it. Yeah, I think it was live, so we've got that one. So it's painting, it's just looking so much like, you know, the clincher, I think, is John Mayer's admission of being homosexual. If we can get that out of him, then I think the whole house will fall down. Anyway, I see what the fuck, unbelievable. What's he saying? Bloody fucking cowards, these people. I'll just say, come in, cowards. That's all they are. Hey boys, come in. Now, what's happening out here is they're not responsive. So those three viewers are possibly them. So, boys, the offer is this: get your scaredy cat fucking asses in here and face the music. Now, so the people we're talking about are Sydney Winston, gay person who's a pain in the ass. What on earth you got there? So we've got Sydney. Okay. Now, Sydney Winston asked the Atheist, Vancouver, BC, Arsenal Football Club. So this is him. It's the same logo. So Sydney Ask an Atheist, that's one. Cerebus Rex, X, and Mork Ianu, 3 people. So they're the key. Oh, and yeah, Mark, there, that's it. All right. So they're the contenders. Plus down corner, Jello, Brother John to a certain degree, because he was mates of Cerberus, so by association. Frank Green by yeah, because he's the catalyst. He's the catalyst to it all. He's the one that poisoned the water. When? In front of me. Oh yeah, but no. They, they'll. Well, maybe he was in two minds, but no, I wouldn't buy it myself. Yeah, it was all show. That's what they're good at. You've seen the elaborate. No, yes. I'll know, Ben. I'll know for sure. Yeah, you can do all that shit. I'm not convinced until I meet him and talk to him. Then I'll know. I just will. I just want to reserve it to them. Okay, well, you probably met him. So we're not going to have a fight over who's better. That's a pissing contest. We don't do that. I don't think. Oh, Mark annoy you or something. You're supposed to be watching. All right, that's that. All right, mate. I think that's about it. That's a wrap. They're not coming in. They're not saying anything. I think their fucking jaws are on the ground. Anyway, I need to get a rest. Another day's another dollar. Feet are swelling up a bit, so. Okay, cool. Well done. Thank you, Benny. No, Danny, Frank. Damn it. How many pennies are there? I think I've counted 8. Right. Okay. Roll the videotape. Hang up. Live. 3 people. Gone.